have you bag your own sand, 8 bags per carload, and they want you to essentially do it yourself, but they will help you if you need help, if you're an elderly person, or for whatever reason you need help to put the sand in the bags. They will help you do that, because the bags itself, once they're weighed, they're about 50 pounds, I'm told. 2 more important things: they're open till 5 o'clock at both locations, and then they'll reopen tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. But if you are a resident of the city of Hollywood, either your driver's license, utility bill, they'll check it, then they'll let you come on in, and they'll let you take 8 bags of sand. And when I'm done here, I'm going to help bag some sand, just so you guys know that I'm doing some work.
See? He's going to do something.
Put down the mic right now. Let me see. Come on.
Okay,
I'm sure there's somebody who could use your help, Mike. Okay, we're holding.
Hold on.
We'll talk while you bag.
Yes,
you are now watching a live picture of Mike DePasquale put sand somewhere in a bag to help the residents of Hollywood. You can get 8 bags per family, and one of them could be from Mike DePasquale.
There you go.
Perhaps the strongest man in television.
Now we've just created a flood of people that are going to go down there.
No,
so
now he's going to talk.
I will help. I am the people's choice. I will help anyone. Trust me. Come on down. Come on down. I'll help you.
All right. We love your technique, and we noticed that you're using a snow shovel. So thank you so much, Mike DePasquale.
More sand in this shovel. I am the man of the people. I will help you. Come on down.
Awesome.
Good stuff. Good stuff, Mike. Thanks so much. Obviously, a lot of preparations taking place there, not only in Miami-Dade County, but Broward.
Is very much responding to these alerts. Once again, not panicking, but having a sense of urgency and just understanding that, once again, it is so better to have those supplies, to have the food in case your power goes out, so you can feed your family and yourself and your pets. Just good to be in that great position so that no matter what comes our way, we're ready.
Christina Vasquez live in the Keys. Thanks so much. And as Christina was showing us all those gas stations, we want to point out that we are under a state of emergency. The governor declared that a short while ago. So we do not want to see any kind of price gouging out there. Jeff Weinstein reported to us $4.49 for regular at one place in North Miami Beach. So be on alert. If you see anything for regular gas going toward $5 an hour, let us know. Email us here at local10.com, and we will let the authorities know, because we don't want to see any price gouging now that we have a state of emergency declared.
That's right.
That is against the law.
It's down the way there.
To the left.
To the left, yeah, a ways away.
I mean, this is the time.
Well, right, but you've got to remember my age. All right, I'm getting on now.
Okay, Derek, well, I'll just tell you, since you can't see, there were some kite surfers.
I thought those were pelicans, you know.
Okay.
It's getting harder and harder,
I know,
okay?
I know.
How many years have I been doing this?
Well, I'll just tell you, there were some kite surfers, and I guess it's good for them, but, you know, there are conditions that could be unfavorable, yes.
And if you see anything else going on that I can't make out, please feel free to point it out to me.
There's some humans behind you taking pictures of something. I'm not sure what either. Thank you, Derek.
Spider-Man. Derek, there's Spider-Man right beside you. I kid you not. To your right, there he is.
It's South Beach.
Oh, I can see that.
Gotta love it.
How you doing, mate?
All right. All right.
Oh, he's got a fan.
Oh, there we go.
Don't touch anybody on South Beach.
He's saving South Beach from Tropical Storm Isaac. Very good.
Thank you, Derek Hayward. It does look pretty, and the good news is, as Derek indicated, we saw in that live picture, they're cleaning things up and getting prepared for Isaac. Let's turn things over to Phil Farrow to give us an update on the storm. Phil?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. What you need to know this afternoon, a couple of things. We are awaiting the arrival of Tropical Storm Isaac. It could either be a tropical storm, and there's a slight chance now that it might be a Category 1 system as it nears South Florida. The Keys under a hurricane warning, Miami-Dade hurricane watch, Broward County a tropical storm warning. Now here's the very latest on satellite imagery. A little while ago we were speaking with the director of the National Hurricane Center, and he says that even though the center of circulation is right there, actually the terrain here over Hispaniola has taken a little bit of a toll and has kept this system in check. You'll notice that most of the cloud cover and the rain is on the backside. Ahead of it, there's still a little bit of moisture that we could see tonight. Now, what we will keep our eyes on is exactly where that center of circulation will head over the next 6 to 12 hours. If it does so over the warm waters of the Atlantic, there is a chance that it could get a little stronger as it approaches South Florida. If it kind of hugs the coast here and moves inland, then it will be a weaker system as it nears us by tomorrow evening. As of 2 p.m., 60-mile-per-hour winds moving northwest at 17. That center
of a tropical storm or possibly a Category 1 hurricane.
He's smart.
Congratulations to them. He's smart when holding the umbrella.
He was holding the umbrella. He already knows that's a good move. Scoring brownie points on the first day of being married.
He better hold her down later on tonight. Are they planning on staying here? Well, I'm saying when the winds pick up.
Oh, right, to protect her. Okay. Well, I just was clarifying.
Kevin, is this couple staying since they've been planning their honeymoon, I suppose? Are they staying throughout the evening, or when are they planning to go back to their home?
Yes, they are. Yes, they are planning on staying, Lynn. They are not cutting their vacation short, but some people here in Key West are leaving a little bit early. I talked to one husband.
Down in the Florida Keys, a hurricane could occur. So let's take a quick look at what's going on. First of all, the rainfall across South Florida, which has been a problem today for those of you trying to get ready, of course, for the possibility of tropical storm conditions. Oh, we forgot to frame this, didn't we? Well, we can do this on the fly. It's Sherry sized. It's not John Morales sized in terms of the height, right? So there you go. The rain is giving us a break right now, giving us a chance to somewhat prepare, because a lot of the heavier rain is down to our southeast and south. Some of the interviews with the director of the National Hurricane Center, Dr. Rick Knabb. And Dr. Rick Knabb specifically has said that they see little chance is the quote, for a rapid intensification cycle on Tropical Storm Isaac. Either way, the forecast is for the landfall of a Category 1 hurricane around the 7 Mile Bridge. If the Hurricane Center's forecast was spot on, it would make landfall around the 7 Mile Bridge, 8 o'clock on Sunday night. But another important fact: the chance that it will actually be a hurricane is 36%. All right, and I've been talking about these probabilities since we started the coverage for Isaac. It is a new concept. I don't think we've done this in coverage in South Florida, at least in my 21 years on TV here in South Florida. I've never used these probabilities of intensity, but it's a great tool to communicate to you the real chances of you having to face a Category 1 hurricane in the Florida Keys. Forecast, or at least I hope. Yep, there we go. So this is the model suite this afternoon. And we don't have any models bringing the center of Isaac towards metropolitan South Florida. The closest one is the HWRF. There you see it there, into the upper Keys near Key Largo. That would be the closest approach of a model for the center of Isaac heading towards metropolitan South Florida. Otherwise, the entire model suite is generally into the middle and lower Keys. And as a matter of fact, if you discount the BAM portion here, these are really, really old models. As a matter of fact, I think next time around I'm just going to click them off, because they're really, really old. But the GFS, the UK Met, even the Canadian. Remember the Canadian when it was way, way over here? Now the Canadian is across Cuba. And buried somewhere in there, there's a TVCN. That's kind of a consensus model. So you have this clustering of the best models that are used to forecast hurricane track down in the lower Keys, with one outlier, which is also a very good model, the HWRF, which is up here closer to Key Largo. So the level of confidence that we're going to have a landfall in the Keys is high, and there's not that much concern that it's going to be a landfall in Dade, and obviously much less in Broward. What happens beyond? Well, into the Eastern Gulf and points north.
To the Weather Center, and apparently he's got that all-important 5 p.m. advisory. John, how's it changed?
Not too many changes as far as South Florida is concerned in terms of the watches and warnings, but a significant change in the forecast intensity of the system when it comes through the Florida Keys. I just looked very, very, very briefly at the forecast track. And again, folks, when these things come out, we rush to get it on the air as quickly as possible. Let's go straight to the information. Here's the satellite picture. I'm going to do a close-up here. We'll get through the satellite image really, really quick, because I know you want to see where it's at. You want to see its current strength. You want to see where it's headed. Remember earlier at 2 o'clock, the center of the system was right here in Bay of Nipe, which is right along the north coast of Cuba. Now the center of circulation is still leaving that area with winds of 60 miles an hour at 21.3 north and 76 degrees west. 60-mile-an-hour winds. Here is the forecast path from the National Hurricane Center. Tonight, skirting along the north coast of Cuba and then moving towards the area close to the Florida Keys, again on a track which would take it pretty much what I had told you before, along the 7 Mile Bridge or so, or perhaps the lower Keys, maybe Big Pine Key, as as a tropical storm transitioning into a hurricane.
Live from Weather Team 6, this is an NBC6 South Florida Tropical Storm Isaac update.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jackie Nesbro along with Adam Cooperstein. Thanks for joining us for this special coverage of Tropical Storm Isaac. And we just received the all-important 5 p.m. advisory. John Morales.
Now, the mayor is opening up 3 shelters to deal with the people who may come out of those areas. In the north side, it's Dr. Kropp Senior High, which is a pet-friendly shelter. In central part of...
To David Bernard, and I think, David, you're going to speak to somebody at the National Hurricane Center, right?
That's right. We're going to speak with Ed Rappaport, who's Deputy Director of the National Hurricane Center. And Ed, we're going to start off by talking about the storm that's just off the coast of Cuba. The center is beginning to reemerge, and we've had that burst of activity the last couple of hours. Of course, Isaac's kind of been an underperformer all along. We've seen this happen over and time again. Do you think there's any chance this could be a real intensification period or not?
Probably not for the first 12 hours, not overnight, because as you said, the center is still located over the north coast of eastern Cuba. But over the next 24 hours, of course, with a northwest motion, the center will move out over water, an area where it's more likely to see strengthening. And so while there won't be much change tonight, we do think Isaac will approach and probably make hurricane strength in the vicinity of the Florida Keys or South Florida.
Really, all the models we're seeing, the Keys are right in the path.
Elliot, I would say that,
by the way, tropical storm.
Right, Elliot. I would say that people are still fairly festive. It's kind of a state of mind here in the Keys. Throughout the day today, it's been pretty gloomy, overcast, just kind of a nasty weather day. We have had some periods of heavy rain, as David mentioned. Right now, we are seeing still some people out on the streets. They're riding bikes, taking their dogs for a walk. A couple of businesses have decided to close up shop early. I talked to an employee of this clothing store across the street earlier. He said with all the bad weather, not a lot of foot traffic, they decided to padlock the doors, put up some sandbags, and go home and come back probably sometime on Monday. We drove around through the city today, maybe about 15 to 20% of the homes and businesses in a very unscientific survey, by the way.
Estas son imágenes que nos llegan desde Sunny Isle Beach y como podemos ver, hay viento y un poco de oleaje.
Y como nos decía Stefano Fusaro desde Miami Beach, Guillermo, hay banderas rojas puestas a todo lo largo de la costa, en la playa, así es que se le pide a los bañistas que no entren al mar porque las condiciones están bien peligrosas.
Continue to work on it, but again, here on Miami Beach, it's pretty much business as usual as people are getting their last few moments in of fun. A lot of tourists out here coming up to us, asking us what to expect, unsure of how serious things could get, unsure if they should leave, but as we can see out here, most of them remain at this point and are enjoying themselves.
We know you can go anywhere on the map of the track and you can determine how far away it will be from you. Again, just log on to cbsmiami.com/tropics. Much more to come. We'll be right back.
Last thing here before we get back to some other news here about Isaac. We read in the discussion after the advisory was issued about Isaac interacting with a surface low pressure over by the Isle of Youth here on the western shore of Cuba. What do you expect the impacts of that low to be, if any, on Isaac?
Well, on the surface analysis, this low is right in here near the Cayman Islands, and so that will have some interaction likely with Isaac here, and they may kind of rotate around each other. I mean, Isaac is going to win out. It's just so much stronger than this little low near the Caymans here. But that could impact the path a little bit. You know, we always see some wobbles one way or the other. That might turn it a little bit more to the west, and if that did that, they would keep it over closer to Cuba longer and might, you know, at least slow down the intensification.
All right, sounds good. Calvin and Lori, we'll send it back over to you. I'm not sure if you guys have any questions for us, but for now, we'll send it back to the desk.
Yours are not emailing us for some reason, but hopefully they will very soon with their questions. Trent and Max, thank you so much for that. And certainly we have an update now from that 5 o'clock advisory. We know.
Here's how it breaks down. Overnight, increasing wind, some showers start to approach. A low temperature about 77 degrees. Look at the wind forecast. Pretty breezy out there, 20 to 30 miles an hour. And then heading into the day tomorrow, well, downright windy. Tropical storm conditions can be expected. They'll worsen throughout the day tomorrow. The wind will be frequently above 39 miles an hour, which is, of course, tropical storm conditions for South Florida. What to expect now beyond tomorrow? We'll keep.
When is the county going to pick us up if they want us to go to the shelters? I told them that was not likely. Calvin and Lori, talking to people in this mobile home community again in Miami, There was a huge language barrier here. Most people did not understand what we were talking about, had not seen the television, really, quite frankly, didn't know if they knew that a storm was coming. Very interesting scenario behind these gates. Again, there were about 100 mobile homes that go all the way back, most of them extremely old. Some of them have additions to them where people live, but most people telling us that they plan on riding out Isaac right here.
But I want you to know this lifeguard structure, as we're standing here, has been the photo op location of the day. So many people, tourists, coming to take their photograph right in front of the Miami Beach sign here. That's been most of the activity. Let me show you the windsurfers that have come out just in the last couple of hours. I will tell you, this looks like a lot of fun. They've got a great...
There's a closer look for you of downtown Miami right now, and 395 and all the big buildings there with that blue color. It's really unique tonight.
Yeah, it really is.
So let's get to Cynthia Gutierrez.
Here at Biscayne and 50th, you could see this sign for Frederica Wilson for Congress. She won outright August 14th. It is barely in the ground. It doesn't take much, and I will clean that up when I'm done for it to fly. And then there's this huge sign right here that we have seen actually already swinging in the wind. And it's not even that windy out. This sign could easily come down. Again, Miami-Dade County is asking candidates to have their staff come out and remove all these signs as soon as possible.
Well, it is Key West. People are having a good time. But you can see right now the landmark is covered in plastic. Of course, this is to protect it in case there's any flying debris. In fact, you can see right through it. On the other side of the buoy or the landmark is where it says 90 miles from Cuba. And all night long, partiers have been coming here to get their photo taken with it while it's all tarped up like this. So this tarp isn't going to give it much protection against the wind, but I don't think you can move this thing.
Yeah,
it's at least a few tons.
I was trying to think, in all the years, I can't ever remember that having been covered for a storm.
I've never noticed that ever during our storm coverage. And it's not like if it gets damaged, they can't just repaint it and plaster it and keep it right where it is.
Tomorrow, Sunday at noon, and the transit services will be suspended until further notice. So this is again to ensure the safety of the folks out there. Metrobus, Metro Rail, Metro Mover ceased at noon.
That concludes our Tropical Storm Isaac coverage for today. We thank you so much for joining us.
Be sure to join us back here at 5 a.m. for the new advisory updates, and you can follow all the overnight developments at NBC6.com.
Now we return to Saturday.
We're now going to join the show already in progress.
This isn't even one of those call your captain day to see if the conditions are good, because they're not, and everybody is tucked in.
All right. Hey, Hank, thanks so much. We're going to take a break from you right now. Great drive-in and great pictures. All right, check this out behind us. Usually you get to see the city skyline, and it's hard to make out anything from this picture, Juwan.
Yeah, pretty incredible images coming in. And Jennifer, she's screaming. She's like, hey, look behind you. Look behind you. I was a little scared there for a moment. But seeing those pictures, it just goes to show that some of these squalls are coming in. So let's check in now with Jennifer Reeves so she can tell us a little bit more about what's happening. Jennifer.
Yeah, these moved in very, very quickly, and yeah, this is the most intense rain that we've seen, especially even just judging from the Skycam shot, but you can tell on radar, most intense rain that we've seen so far. Moving on shore as we speak. These are very, very heavy rains, strong winds. Could see winds 40s, 50s mile per hour winds, and this is all moving at about 40 miles per hour as well. So
yeah, it's amazing because you can see the pictures, the images slowly clearing up.
Yeah, and look at the big raindrops on our lens there. So nothing is immune to the weather out there.
No, not at all.
So, and as Jen was saying, they just move in so quickly and so fast.
So passengers arriving at Miami International Airport by car, if you plan on taking, and listen to another plane taking off, even in this weather. If you plan on taking the Metro Rail, the new Metro Rail service that brings you into Miami International Airport from Dadeland, or if you're looking to take it out from here to go home into the Dadeland area, last trains coming this way and going out are at 12:15. So here's the update from Miami International Airport. Not looking very nice, and conditions here rapidly changing. Back to you guys.
Oh my goodness, it is, Diana. My goodness. Okay, we hopefully you can get into safer shelter.
Get under.
Hurry up and wait.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
kind of what we've been doing.
Well, we're going to hurry up right now and get on up to Miriam Masihi. She is joining us live right now with an update for us and her location. She's at Bal Harbor Inlet with the very latest. Oh boy, looks pretty bad where you are, Miriam.
Yes, it's like you said, cue to the weather, my friends. We are at the Halover Inlet, and usually you see boats here. Today there are no boats. There's a bad squall coming through. You apparently came to me, and so did the weather. You can see it is raining sideways. We tried to seek shelter under a bridge. Obviously that didn't work. And we have police officers here telling people to go home. They're going to shut down this area at noon, but there's still people here taking pictures and whatnot. And basically, I've lost connection with you guys. I hope you guys can hear me.
Do we have them? Is he there? All right, it looks like we do have them. It looks like conditions have quieted down at least a little bit. What does it look like from your vantage point of view?
Well, Phil, these bands seem to be coming in more frequently, but they seem to be shorter bursts. We just had another intense one, and it suddenly dies. And then if you look to the north, you can see it's beating it up, everything up down there, the high rises down there to the north in the distance there. And all of a sudden, I mean, it's incredible. In 1 minute, you can't see the water, and the next minute, look, it just clears up. And we've got this fantastic surf out there. I'm sure the surfers are all salivating at home watching these images. I mean, yesterday we had surf breaking maybe 100 yards from shore. Now it's way out there. You can see white caps everywhere. It's a beautiful scene, actually. You know, we're so used to these sticky, warm, humid days. And here we've got this emerald green ocean with all the white caps and the dark sky in the back of it. And then this really vigorous breeze coming off it. If it weren't for the rain, it wouldn't be so, I mean, it would be almost a nice walk here on the beach. But the problem is when those rain bands come in, my goodness, I mean, it's like horizontal water, just straight in your face.
It gets hard to breathe. And actually, when you're walking into it, it's not fun. Oh, I'm trying to catch up to a surfer right now. Do you see him right there?
Yes, we see him. Yes.
Hold on.
It's
I'm getting quite the workout, though. This is
Yeah, I'm sure you are. It definitely looks unpleasant to be hanging out on the beach, but maybe for surfing, these are ideal conditions for these guys.
That you guys can stay safe. No need to come out here. Seriously.
I know if you didn't have to be out there, that's probably not where you'd want to be right now. But Miriam, we appreciate it. And you said it wasn't cool to be surfing out there, but I want you to know the backwards cat, very cool.
You look cool.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you,
Miriam,
guys.
thank you very much. We're going to go further south to the place where is getting the brunt of Tropical Storm Isaac.
Thanks a lot for that.
And we are going to effort to get down into Haulover in just a moment with Todd Tongan and one of our commissioners, Sally Heyman. Thank you for cleaning our lens. Todd, take it away. Looks like...
That's your first one?
Yes. Sally Heyman. Oh, what's your name?
They're talking. It's Sally Heyman from District 4 pulling extra duty there, clearing our lens on the camera there. Sally, what are you doing? We're here at Haulover Park, and she's trying to run off people like this. This is a county park.
Trespassing in our park. You have got to leave.
Okay, I leave it. I wait for my kids to have here.
Oh, so you leave?
You got your kids
with
you?
your kids there?
No, don't worry. Okay, well, here's what's happened. This is a county park. Once they declare a state of emergency, they close all of the county parks.
Storm coverage here for us. Welcome aboard, and let's talk about the transit situation here in South Florida. Kelly?
Thank you. I haven't hunkered in years, so this is a real treat to be back with you here at NBC6. I can tell you, having come to the station, which is in Miramar, from South Dade, a lot of people are staying in, and let's face it, what do you need to go out for? Most of the stores are closed, some even boarded up. I think the Home Depot is about the only store that I saw open, and it was mobbed. I think because guys are finally thinking, hey, I'm stuck inside, I might as well fix a light plug or do something in the garage, which is good because people tend to get cabin fever, particularly at this point where they were expecting much more. It didn't materialize, and they think, I'm going to go out now. But you just mentioned a good point, and that is you never know how dangerous the roads are. As I was coming up the turnpike, I can tell you that One minute it was calm, no wind, no rain. The next minute it was tropical storm conditions, and that's why you have to stay in. We want to remind you that at this time, Miami-Dade County is under a flood watch and tornado watch until 5 o'clock. Miami-Dade Transit cut their services off today at noon, okay? In fact, I saw a lot of poor souls getting off buses in pouring rain, and I felt so sorry for them. But, you know, safety first, and that's why they've shut down the bus system. That not only includes Metrobus, Metro Rail, also Metro Mover services. Those services will remain suspended until further notice. Keep it tuned to NBC6. We'll let you know when they are restored. Also, although Miami-Dade Transit services will be suspended, MDT will evacuate people who feel they need shelters. In the case of an emergency and you need this service, call 311. One last note on the transportation. Tri-Rail and Broward County Transit services will remain suspended today as well. Just relax and stay in the house and watch NBC6. Also, before I turn it over to you guys, I want to let you know this is a non-Isaac related story, and that is that there has been another water main break on Miami Beach. This is the second one. Talk about bad luck this weekend. It's on the island of Belle Isle. Crews are still working to repair it. Water service, they say, has been shut off, but they are expecting it to return to the Venetian Island, which, as we know, very heavily populated. They expect it to come back at 6 o'clock tonight. So just hang in there. If you live in that area, Belle Isle, Venetian Isle, don't use your water for now. Use the bottled water, and hopefully maybe you stored some a couple of days ago. So enjoy that. I'm going to throw it back to you guys. And just a reminder, we know the kids are off tomorrow. That's the good news. The bad news is the kids are off tomorrow. I know a lot of you are getting that cabin fever, but for goodness sake, just relax, stay indoors until we're given the all clear.
Hey, Kelly, we love to have your unique perspective here with us here. You're part of the NBC6 family, but I'm just wondering personally, and on a personal note, because you went through, Andrew, with so many of the residents here in South Florida, when you hear that a storm is looming and that it's headed towards South Florida, how do you feel? How do you prepare?
Well, that's the word, prepare. You know, prior to Andrew, you know, we hadn't had a big one, if you will, in a long time. And so a lot of people thought we were impervious to this type of storm. And Andrew, nobody really could have said, well, it's going to be a Cat 5 at some point. So nobody really quite prepared, or they thought it was going to be a big party. Now, you talk about changes, the attitudes have changed. And how many storms have we had since then? I mean, the 90s and even the new millennium, we've had quite a few. Who can forget 04? So I'm very proud that a lot of people are taking it seriously now. And I even saw some folks that had boarded up in South Dade. So again, that was good to see, and glad to be back, and glad people are sticking with NBC6 during the storm.
And Kelly, if we have to hunker, we're happy to hunker with you.
Absolutely.
That's the truth.
Thanks, Kel.
She mentioned Miami Beach. Just one thing to say about that's where I live down there, and the water main
has never been a hurricane, not to this point, and it's unlikely to be one before it leaves Florida.
I just have to say, if you didn't know how tall John was and how tiny Sherry was, now you do.
And I'm on a box.
I mean, really? Wow.
Well, you know, John is very tall and Sherry is very tiny. Petite, we should say.
Great to see it. All right, Justin Finch is live for us in Marathon. Let's see. I love the Isaac Cam. I love the fact that you guys have the technology to do this here for us, on our viewers on NBC6. We're going to check back with you in a second. We have some other reporters out there we want to get to, but that's Isaac
Oh,
Cam.
great. Well, let's get to those folks. No problem.
Hank, we know that
you
know Key West like the palm of your hand, so you can give us a tour anytime.
Just stay out of the jail.
Thanks, Hank. Now we're going to go a little further up north from Key West, of course, Oliver Beach. Miriam Masihi is there. And just to continue with the conditions here in South Florida, as we take a look behind us, usually that's a live picture from downtown Miami. And right now, because the conditions have deteriorated, we've lost that camera, at least for now.
And a programming note, I know a lot of you are watching saying, gee, I hope they dump out in time for the football game at 8. We are. Okay, the New York Jets, our beloved Tim Tebow, hosting the Carolina Panthers tonight at 8 here on Channel 6. And then at halftime, we will have a nice Isaac update so that you can keep abreast, and we'll have the crawl going and everything like that. But my question is, Adam Cooperstein, former sports guy, is Tebow going to start tonight?
No. Tebow?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
Come on. But wait, I'm gonna have a question for you. That voice you did, was that the voice of the Jets fan? Can you do it again?
I don't know what it was at this point, but I do know that a lot of people have been in their houses, have been heeding your warnings to stay off the road, and that's good because, again, as we have seen, we still are under that tornado watch, and anything can happen. So they might be going a little stir-crazy and looking forward to a little bit of entertainment tonight at 8 o'clock, and so we're happy to report that, yes, we will be running the game, but we will keep you posted on any kind of vital information with regard to the storm.
Hola. ¿Qué le ha parecido? ¿Por qué se ha mantenido en la calle? ¿No se han ido a preparar? No, porque estamos, bueno, ya estamos preparados, solamente dando cuenta cómo está pasando todo a nivel local. ¿Qué han visto ustedes por aquí? La verdad que todavía nada serio, solamente es algo, una lluvia normales. Pero ha estado soplando el viento, ¿no? Un poco fuerte, sí. Pero yo creo que será un poco más, será más fuerte de lo que estamos comenzando a ver. Ustedes, sobre todo, recuerden a irse a un área segura y a no conducir mientras pase Isaac por aquí. Muchas gracias. Ustedes han observado, la gente ha querido salir a la calle porque quieren ver que eso es lo que está pasando, estos efectos de Isaac. Nosotros por lo pronto regresamos a los estudios. David Rodríguez, desde Cayo Hueso, Telemundo 51.
Palo de agua que le está cayendo a David.
Palo de agua, David. Bueno, él se encuentra en Los Cayos y va a continuar informándonos durante el transcurso del día de la tarde. Ya no, porque ya es tarde.
Tarde, ¿no?
I can, because I was actually talking to some people here in Key West. When we see the other side of the eye, is it going to be like this, or what will it be like? I'm sure you've said it, but I haven't heard it.
Yes, what's going to happen is once that center emerges into the Gulf of Mexico, the winds will shift direction. Instead of coming out of the north-northeast, they'll be moving in from the south-southwest. That's the very latest this afternoon. Right now, let's send it back to Craig and Belkis.
All right, thanks, Phil. Thanks, Alex. Thanks for that update. And we are getting ready to sign off for now, just Craig and I, because we're going to do another changing of the guard, as we like to say around here.
That's right. As we close in on the 3 o'clock hour, our coverage will continue. Mike Marzal and Martinez along after a break. A live picture now, City of Miami. We're expecting a news conference with city officials, the mayor and whatnot, to bring us up to date on the city's efforts this afternoon as we all wait for Isaac to do its thing and move on away from us. Our coverage continues in a moment. Stay tuned.
All right,
These
Robin,
waves, we can't impart that enough.
Robin, I tell you what, perhaps you can tell that police officer that's near you the situation if he cannot see it, since the guy is so far down there. Obviously, we're watching these sort of situations throughout South Florida. Perhaps none as possibly dire as that, where the guy is going into those white caps.
Stay home. Be smart. We'll be right back.
For those who have been through hurricanes like Andrew, let me tell you, every time one of these systems forms out there in the Atlantic, my phone's ringing off the hook with people that are just shaking in their boots about the possibility of having to live through another night like the night when Andrew came through South Florida on the 23rd of August of 1992. Nobody wants to go through that again if they've been through it once. It was absolutely horrible. So these things strike fear in everybody who's been through a major hurricane, even when they're just very weak tropical storms with 40 or 45 mile an hour winds, because folks are thinking that it could become a hurricane. So when that cone starts to point towards South Florida, the National Hurricane Center forecast starts to point towards South Florida, people get really nervous about it. And there's a reason for it. And I think it's very important to relay to those folks that did not live through Andrew, or maybe our recent transplants to South Florida, and they don't understand why it is that we track these things with such keen interest from day one, and we do special coverage and long weather segments here during our newscasts. It is because of hurricanes like Andrew that we do so. And Andrew is still very fresh in our memory here. It was 20 years ago, but it was totally unforgettable.
It's a bad day to be out here on the water. We are on the Atlantic side of Key West, and there's the water. There are a lot of white caps. I've seen fire rescue drive back and forth in this area to see if anyone's in trouble. I've seen tourists every so often kind of walk by just to take a look and see what a tropical storm looks like. Palm fronds on the ground, and like everyone else is reporting, a lot more wind than rain. The rain is coming down, but it's very thin rain sort of pelting us here on the ground. And interestingly, if you look at the sky, Bob, if you could point the camera to the sky, it's gray down below by the horizon, and then it almost looks like the sun wants to peek out. So it's quite a day here in Key West. Still time to stay indoors if you can. Back to you.
Trent, give us an idea on the radar how close the center of circulation is there.
Well, it's pretty close. Again, this is a very broad circulation. Max and I are looking at some information here, including another update from the Storms Prediction Center. But Max, the northern part of that broad circulation is obviously moving through the Keys there.
Right now, there are 11,180 customers without power, and in Broward, there are just over 5,100 customers without power in Broward County. And as they mentioned to us, we talked to them earlier today.
Southeastern side, even though there's a bit of a dry slot here, there's several of these. I mean, this one here, it's too far for the radar to pick up, but this one does extend out, quite a distance. So the winds are not going to be a factor tomorrow, but I think the wind, rather the rain, could certainly be.
Okay.
John, thank you so much. Appreciate that update right there. And
good news.
I can't get over that. The shot behind us. If you watch our news 6 o'clock, or this time 5 o'clock normally, bright outside, nice blue skies for the most part, or even when it's a little rainy, it doesn't look like this. So this, again, you see pictures here, live look at Fort Lauderdale, the wind blowing against the palm trees, all the effects of Tropical Storm Isaac.
And we just got
10 minutes, and then all of a sudden there will be a lull again. But many people have been coming out. You can see people out here just, I don't know why they would come out in this squall right now and be out here, but they are observing what is going on. Even our friend in the hammock actually got out and went to her car while this squall came in. Again, you can see them, you can read it. You can see it out over the Atlantic, the black cloud. It comes in, it rains like this, very, very heavy for a good 5 minutes, and then it dissipates. And we have seen this all afternoon, as well as people coming to the beach. Calvin, Lori?
Okay, Jeff Weinsteer live for us. And Jeff, as you said, it's coming down there. We'll continue to check back in with you throughout the hour. And for now, we're going to take a break as we leave you with pictures of the radar. And if it's in your city, those storm cells that are going through, you're probably getting some rain and some wind. We'll talk more about tracking Isaac when we come right back.
Y si mañana seguiremos con este tiempo.
Lo que acabamos de comentar de esas bandas de alimentación y de aguaceros y tormentas que pueden llegar en forma ocasional a la ciudad es válido para los 3 condados. Para Miami-Dade, para Broward y para el condado de Palm Beach. De hecho, actualmente, la parte norte de este condado, vean cuánta actividad tiene, y si extendemos la mirada hacia el océano, también queda una extensa banda que va a seguir avanzando, llevando más lluvia, especialmente la parte norte del condado de Palm Beach. Así es que sí, lo de...
Guillermo, ¿tienen alguna pregunta para mí?
Bueno, no tengo pregunta, pero a petición popular, nosotros queremos que te metas en el barquito.
¿Ustedes quieren que me monte en el dinghy?
Sí.
Sí. Échenme el dinghy por acá, por favor.
Móntate en el dinghy.
A ver, pásenmelo por acá. Se dice el dinghy,
que
¿no?
lo llevan hasta la orilla.
A ver.
Que lo recojan
Espérate,
en la
no,
orilla.
contigo es mucho peso. Échate para acá, que tú pesas más que yo. A ver, sale un momentico. ¿Puedes salir un segundito? A ver, enséñame. Ok. A ver, no quiero hacer el papelazo, a ver. Ay. Míreme. Aquí, a ver, aquí estamos. Esto es a petición de Guillermo. Él me quería en el dinghy y estamos en el dinghy aquí. Pero no, esto es algo chistoso que está ocurriendo, porque afortunadamente pensaban que podía ser un poquito peor, pero no, a medida que pasaron las horas, lo que dijimos anteriormente, vieron mucha lluvia. Tengo miedo de pararme aquí a hacer esto. Yo me voy a bajar, a ver, aguántenme el dinghy este.
Pero bueno, te faltaba el gondolero.
Bueno, el gondolero. Pero qué diferencia a Venecia, ¿verdad?
Bueno,
me puedo imaginar que este año no fui.
Pero bueno, Roger...
Así que bueno, aquí, como hay gente, ¿cómo me salió? ¿Alguien más se quiere montar? Bueno, aquí la gente es súper chévere, súper contenta, que no fue peor de lo que pensaban. Desde tempranito están acá y pensamos, incluso nos trajeron café. Hace un ratico el vecindario en completo, que cuando llegamos nos ofrecieron agua, nos ofrecieron hasta comida.
Muy bien.
301 Street, 154 Avenida. Y no este es el único, no es un caso aislado, es lo que estamos viendo por todo este vecindario que se encuentra por acá, baja 2 o 3 cuadras y es el mismo panorama. Así que cuando nosotros llegamos acá tuvimos varias áreas para escoger, pero fueron de nuevo, gracias a esos videos, a esas fotos que nuestros televidentes continuaron enviando a nuestra página de internet, a Facebook, a Univision 23.
The scene in different parts of your neighborhood, and we've been through Miami-Dade, Monroe, Broward County. Right now, Roxanne Vargas, the last time we saw her, she was with her iPad.
Some tourists from the UK.
And some tourists out there in the storms. Let's check back in with Roxanne Vargas.
More than just debris, an entire tree pulled from the roots. I'm about 5'11", folks. This thing is bigger than I am here. These are the roots of this tree, this entire trunk, right on Harding and 73rd in the Miami Beach area. This entire tree pulled because of all the gusts of wind and the rain, of course, what is Tropical Storm Isaac. Crews here working to remove this big tree. And by the way, as we take a walk, come on over here with me, Matt, take a look at this. 2 of these light poles knocked over here as well. FP&L crews actually just left the scene, secured this. We'll be moving this debris. 2 light poles, this one right here went down. Over here we have another light pole that went down as well. As we take a look at all that tree there, we do have City of Miami Beach Police there securing this area.
Live, the news on NBC6 South Florida starts now.
Isaac, now at 6, we continue tracking Isaac. Beach bomber. This is what people on South Beach woke up to. Gloomy skies, downpours, and some serious wind gusts.
Team 6, the only station with an Isaac cam live, giving you an inside look at the storm in a car as it moved through the Florida Keys.
And even though Isaac's impact was minimal, it was probably felt the most at our local airports. We check in with passengers still stranded by the storm. Good evening again. I'm Jackie Nesbrough, joined by Adam Cooperstein.
We're going to take a look at the surf. Fort Lauderdale Beach at this hour. The good news is none of the beach, none of the sand here has crossed onto A1A. No major damage along the beach. There is some sand down at Las Olas Boulevard, but besides that, you can see there is traffic moving along A1A. 2:15 this afternoon, we had the highest gusts out here, about 45-mile-an-hour winds this afternoon. As this afternoon progressed, they have gone down. What happens is you'll see a cell out there. Black clouds, within 5 minutes they come in, we get saturated, the wind picks up, and then 5 minutes later they are gone.
Into the 40 or 30% range as we get into the latter portion of the week. So here's your forecast planner, folks. Now that Isaac is moving away, things will calm down. 80% chance of rain tomorrow, 60 Tuesday, 40 Wednesday, and back to a normal South Florida pattern for the late portion of the week.
Before we go, quick programming note. We will be airing the Jets-Panthers NFL preseason game tonight. Tim Tebow football coverage starts 8 o'clock with an Isaac update during halftime.
And thank you so much for having joined us for this extended coverage of Tropical Storm Isaac. From all of us here at NBC6, we thank you so much for having joined us. Have a good night. We'll see you.
There's going to be breaking weather.
Los invitamos a continuar con Noticias 23 en nuestra cobertura especial que reiniciaremos a las 11 de la noche en una edición especial.
Así es, ya que ahora nos reanudamos con la programación de Univisión. Ahora viene el noticiero Univisión, edición fin de semana. Y confía en la experiencia de todo nuestro equipo desplazado por el sur de la Florida y a través de univision23.com y también Univisión Radio.
Gracias por habernos acompañado. Pasen todos muy buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
Esta cobertura completa concluye de esta manera, pero nosotros, por supuesto, vamos a continuar aquí, vamos a tenerles sus boletines y vamos a de la noche con el noticiero de 11 a 11:30 y con toda la información.
Tengan todos muy buenas tardes y hasta las 11. Bueno, ahora los dejamos con la programación de un juego de fútbol de las Chivas de Guadalajara contra Monterrey. Gracias mil por la atención prestada y por haber puesto en nosotros y en nuestro equipo de Telemundo 51 su confianza. Hasta
Con
las
eso nos
11.
despedimos, volvemos a la programación de Telemundo con este partido de fútbol.